Hi there, hi there, hi there. I'm gonna share with you some. All right, a villain group. A villain group. Yeah. Hold on, hold on, hold on. All right, now. All right, now. I call this the House of Louts. All right, now you'll probably understand the inspiration pretty soon. All right, now. Yeah, they're inspired by classic Disney. All right, now. All right. The Big Boss, C. Ratty. This villain is a former cartoonist who was the head of a mega cartoon corporation. Now he's obsessed with being immortal, so his creations could go on forever. So he infuses blood and soul into his own ink, which caused him to transform into a TV-headed rat-bodied-like creature with red overalls and a black shirt and large white gloves. And he did this largely because of his obsession with legacy, perfection, and a lust for money. However, he decided to take over the airwaves by taking over each channel in the media dimension in a hostile takeover to truly expand his empire and make it go on forever and get filthy, stinking rich. He also created the other members of his gang with his true arts of ink, then formed the House of Louts under his supreme leadership to aid in his evil endeavors to conquer the channels and claim the airwaves of the media dimension forever. He is a massive he is a massively egotistical but yet zany personality, a bit like a powerful cartoon villain. And due to his toon nature, he is able to bend physics around him and is nigh invulnerable to just about everything, except for turpentine, as it's the only thing that can truly destroy a toon. Yeah, it's because it's a thing that can erase cartoon cells from production. Also, it's kind of one of the weaknesses that Toons and Roger Rabbit had. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, part of it. Yeah. It's basically known as the dip. Yeah. All right. Now here are the members. All right. Yeah. Dark Sea Witch Cilia Delusia. This sea witch looks like a kraken-like humanoid with tentacle-like hair and a massive black and purple outfit, like a real mage who was a former real mage of the media dimension's own Toontime network in the Mermer Kingdom. He was a scheming witch that wishes to steal the voice of a mermaid and claim the throne of the earth and the sea for herself, and claim the great sea king's trident, and has an army of sea creatures under her. She is a cruel, scheming personality and enjoys everything from trickery to crushing ships under her tentacles for fun. Oh no, not tentacles! No! I see an offense. I didn't know where that's going. Already we're on the tentacle monster jokes, of course. Alright, you can tell it's inspired by Ursula. Anyway, next one. Yeah, by the way, see your rat, he is, inspired by, freaking Mickey Mouse, sort of. Alright, next one. Mistress Prada Demon. A big game huntress who was obsessed with fashion and displays power and wishes to display the power and dominance over all the creatures of the earth, and who is clad in a white and black outfit made of dead white tigers, what she finds striking and powerful. She traveled the world to demonstrate her power and skin a few animals just to suit her vanity. She also wears her signature blood red heels, and her hair resembles that of a skunk. She is also a furrier who isn't afraid to snatch pets if she believes their patterns suit her next big outfit. She used to work in fashion long ago, but her extreme actions caused reputational loss. Alright, yeah, she's kind of inspired a little by Clayton as well as, I'm Cruella de Vil. Alright, next one. Alpha, the Tyrant of Beast. The brother of the King of Beasts who rules over the cursed bitter wasteland, where only the laughing, joking hyena man live. He quickly developed a cruel and bitter personality towards his brother after his exile for treachery and attempted murder, and seeks to claim the throne of the King of Beasts to rule over the Great Savannah as the absolute ruler, and isn't afraid to manipulate his own minions or kill to get his way. Alright, we got one based on Scar, that's cool. Alright, next one. The Peacock Sorceress. A vain sorceress clad in an outfit that resembles a peacock and has a magical mirror in her hand and is aging and hates that she's losing beauty and is prone to fits of jealousy and rage. Even had her own children murdered for challenging her beauty by stealing youth straight from them with her vile dark magic taught to her by a dark entity living in her mirror. She's always looking for new victims and a new scheme not just for beauty but for eternal life. Yeah, this is based on the evil queen from Snow White. Mm. Alright, now next one. Tartarus Void. A demonic entity with a black soulless void for head and a writhing, gross, undead burnt body that resembles a ghost. He schemes to obtain power to become the absolute god above all gods, and turn his own demonic minions and undead servants into his personal army to obtain it. Of course, he didn't mind dragging mortals into his conflict, whom he deemed lesser compared to his loving and jolly brother, the great sky god. He even tried to, drain the power to the great sky god's incarnation when he was born to try and, defeat him for good, and schemes to drag them into darkness, much like the ancient titans once imprisoned in the void. Alright, this is kind of inspired a little bit by Hades. Yeah, it's not quite the same, though. Alright, next one. Bloody Queen Valentine. The queen who rules over a twisted wonderland of nonsensical and warped creatures with an iron fist and looks like a woman modeled after the card, the Queen of Hearts, and the rules to her world are based on her mood, despite claiming them absolute. And she is prone to changing them on the fly to suit whatever she wants and do as she pleases, and she often beheads people who cross her, defy her, displease her in any way, like a tyrant. The card commando she rules are loyal to her and her every whim, and she wishes to obtain the absolute power over the dream world, so she can make all the children in the world submit and obey and respect her authority via her controller, else, as she fancies herself quite the authoritarian and believes children should only be quiet and obey, or else lose their heads. Alright, kind of inspired by, the Queen of Hearts, but a bit darker, yeah. Alright, next one. Captain T. Reach. Alright, now. A brutally evil pirate in red and black who has a golden hook, who is a kidnapper and a murderer, who found himself in an odd world in the sky, and who became a villain because a mad child had originally brought him into the world thinking he would be a great playmate, only for the captain to grow up and realize his life was in danger of the mad child, so he rebelled and became a brutal pirate. Taking other adults from the island and hoping to spare children the same fate, though he doesn't mind using whatever tactics necessary to do so, even if it's clearly evil. Him and the mad child Pan have a fierce rivalry, and Captain T. Reach hopes to finally defeat him for good, mainly to get revenge, but also to loot the island and the sky of its treasures and rule over it as its king. He is prone to kidnapping to recruit children in his crew by force and manipulation. Yeah, kind of a bit of a tragic, take on Captain Hook, really. It's more closer to the book, really. Honestly, Peter Pan is kind of a psychopath, so yeah, he would be responsible for creating his own villain. Yeah, that's based on the book, yeah. Alright, next one. Chechen Feisper Vipor. Alright, a former advisor of the king of Allah Rabal, who in his schemes for power and domination brainwashed and manipulated their king and sought to obtain the magical lamp of the Djinn so he could have whatever he desired granted. But he trusted a thief after threatening his family into obtaining it from an infamous thief's cursed treasury and the thief, befriended the genie, that Djinn was able to steal for himself and eventually became the all-powerful demonic Djinn with red skin and a snake-like appearance, but was forever bound in a black lamp forever as a result, and became bitter and angry at being sealed away. He is capable of granting himself and others' wishes, but the ones he grants others are to benefit him or benefit himself, or to troll and destroy others. No, we have a troll genie. Alright, obviously this is based on, Jafar a little bit. Alright, next one. Nycnophon of the Black Rose Court. This black rose and thorn-clad wicked fairy with pale skin, who has a terrible reputation for cruelty and a hair-trigger temper, who, due to not being invited to a party, took it out on a child for She hates children and left her job as a fairy godmother for power, and even took over the castle after freezing it in time and to claim the kingdom as her own and held its people in a state of fear. She also has horns like a dragon and can turn into one with toxic flames that never heal when they hit something. She also is a worshipper of the powers of darkness who calls herself the mistress of all things dark, monstrous, and evil, and is the master of curses. And is a master of curses, but an over-the-top personality who commands cursed roses. All right, so this is based on all right now. Now we got another. Wait, this is more based on Maleficent, yeah. All right, now, how do you guys like that? That's, all of them. How do you guys like all of them? Isn't this wonderful? I love. All right, now. All right, now. By the way, thank you for listening, and I hope you had plenty of fun. And thank you for listening to me, ramble on about this nonsense. All right, those are basically the rough ideas for it, yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and give me your name for more hyperlink blocked. And don't forget to fly like that and shine like the moon for weird stuff dreams are made of. Goodbye. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that.